Oh, hello you lot. I've been inundated with comments lately. We need a Marauder update was one of them. Well, the Marauder update, I'm just trying to get the comments up here, but because I'm using this old iPhone 5, it's taken 6.5 million years to load anything. I haven't got the Marauder anymore, you lot. I sold it in the summertime, I think. It was quite warm anyway. Yes, sold it. I didn't have enough money to be able to put into it, so I thought, well, I'd pass it on to somebody who can, and yeah, so that's that gone. So sorry for those of you that were disappointed in that. I really wish I had full intentions of restoring that Marauder 100% to how it would have been back in the 80s or whenever it was new, or before that, whenever. But you can only do what you can do, and I just didn't have enough spare money to put into it, to buy parts, to do this and to do that, whatever it might needed. I bought some, I'd done the axles and CVs or whatever, but I couldn't chuck any more into it, and it was in the way. So I got rid of it. Simple as that. Let's have a look at some more comments. I've got some comments here, and I think one of them was, can I do a video in the garage of how to properly tune a Nitro car? It'll be difficult in the garage, but I'll do the best I can, and I'll make a video after this one or at some point. Don't know what car I use. Probably use the MP9 because it's the easiest one. It's the newest one. It's just easier just to get running and to tune that one, because it will be well out of tune now, because I tuned it for the summer, and obviously now we're in the winter. It's about -3 today, so I think I'll do that. And also somebody else asked, can I make a video on how to run a Nitro engine in cold weather? Well, I don't really have cold weather in England. It's -3 at the moment, but that's not cold where some of you live. I get the feeling that that person meant cold weather, like -10 or 15. But I can give you an insight on how to do it and what you have to do. You just need to warm it up and just tune it for the weather, pretty much. They do a system. Well, I don't know if you can actually buy it, but what you can do, if you're in a very, very cold climate, and you're having trouble where your engine can't maintain a heat because you're in that cold of a climate and it's sucking in cold air, and you know it's too cold for it to run, it just can't heat itself up and stay warm because the air coming in through the air filter and around the heatsink is too much. What you can do is you can run a little pipe from the exhaust and run it past the heatsink if you want to. There's several ways you can do it. So the exhaust fumes are coming out that are hot. Your heatsink gets a little bit gummy because obviously you've got the nitro coming out, but you can have it so there's a little hole for it to drain out if you want. And the fumes come around, and because they're warmer, they help to heat up your heatsink and help to heat up your engine as you're running it. And you can just run it with that on. You know, that's if you're in extreme cold. You can do that. You can have like some socks or something around, like a hat. You know, obviously not a real hat, but it'll be like a hat on the engine. You could have that around the heat. Let me just get one to demonstrate. You could have something around the heatsink so it keeps the heat in. But you do have to kind of monitor it a little bit to make sure that it's not getting too hot. But if you're in like -15 degrees Celsius and you're running around and you're finding that your engine can't keep a good heat in it for it to run properly, it's going to be fine. But obviously, like I said, just keep your eye on the temperatures when you're doing things like that, because it could go the other way and it could go too hot. I'm telling you lot things like this because some of you have got some common sense in your head and you want to come around, you want to work things out on how to do things. So like I say, if you don't, you've got to keep your head screwed on when you're doing that, because it could go the other way. It could get too hot and end up frying your engine. And you know, you could keep too much heat in, but you can do that. Other ways of doing it, you could, I don't know if, I've never seen it done with a nitro engine, so I don't know if it would work. It might end up just choking the engine, but you could run a pipe from the exhaust. So some of the exhaust goes out, but you have a little pipe that comes off of that exhaust and goes back into the air filter. Not in it, but like it goes around the air filter, and like a little cone around the air filter. So it's sucking in cold air from behind, but also some warm air, which are fumes, are going into the air filter. I don't know if that would work on a nitro engine. It works on real full-size engines. Some engines have that are designed to run in cold climates. They do have that, exhaust recirculation. Similar to an EGR valve, exhaust recirculation valve, but that's done for emissions and shit. But some engines do have that to help them warm up, where they recirculate some of the exhaust fumes back into the inlet, and it reburns them. But because they're already hot, rather than sucking in cold air, it sucks in warm air, and it helps it warm up. But a nitro engine is so small, just the little amount of fumes coming in might be enough to choke it, and it just won't run because the air's not fresh enough. I've never seen it done to a nitro engine, so that's something for you to try if you want. Or if you've already done it, or you might know that it doesn't work full stop, put it in the comments. You might do it and it works fine. Put it in the comments. You know, everyone learns from each other. That's what comments are for. But there's several ways you can run a nitro engine in the cold weather. But most of the time, unless you're in pretty cold, minus 10, 15 or colder degrees Celsius, or it's windy, most of the time, once you get some heat in your engine, either with an engine heater or a hairdryer or a heat gun or any other means of heating it, if you heat all around the block, heat everywhere, once the heat's in the engine and you've got it running and it's started up and it's running, the heat shouldn't really disappear. It should be able to keep enough heat in itself for it to run properly and keep up to a reasonable temperature, even though the cold is around it. In most cases, unless you're in extreme. There's some cases where you just can't run a nitro engine because it's just too cold. And if you're in that cold climate, then I think there's some places in the world, isn't there, where cars and lorries and all that, they never turn off. People leave them outside their homes running all night because it's so cold. If they turn it off, everything will just freeze. Is that right? I worked with a bloke. He was a plant fitter, so he worked on diggers and dumpers and mining equipment in, I think it was Antarctica. And he said none of the equipment is ever turned off. Nobody's cars, trucks, pickup trucks, machines, diggers, everything is left running on tick over all the time, even if there's no night shift or nothing like that. Everything's just left ticking over. You know, you don't turn it off. You leave it running because it's so cold there. If you live in a place like that, or if you know of a place like that, put it in the comments, because I love to hear about things like that. I mean, I know you got engine heaters, block heaters and things like that, and sump heaters and diesel tank heaters, but I suppose in some places you can't get electric to do that, so you just leave it all running. It's just easier just to leave the engine running, I suppose. Not healthier for the engine as well, because a cold start is where a lot of the wear happens. If you have an engine running, the oil is hot and warm, the wear is minimal once the oil in the engine is hot. Anyway, enough of that. Let's have a look at some comments. I'm sorry if I've rambled a lot there, but sometimes I have a lot of information in there that I want to get out, and it all just tries to escape to get out really quick, and it gets a bit jumbled up, and I just end up talking for 6.5 million years, if you know what I mean. So I hope some of that got to you and helped you out in some way or another. Well, we were going, but my phone crashed. So I'm waiting for it to turn up again, and then after that we'll look at some comments. It's about the 6th time I've tried to look at the comments now on this thing, so just bear with me. Sorry you lot, it's been a couple of days since I've started the first part of this video. I haven't been able to get any comments up on this old phone, but I think I've managed to fix it now, so let's have a look to see what comments we have got. Right, here we go then. Start from the top of the list. Send it. The worst thing you can do to a cold nitro motor is the quick repeated revs. You damage the piston and sleeve. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, of course, the worst thing that you can do to any engine, regardless, is to rev it up when it's cold. So that is the worst thing. I wonder what video that was on. Send it. What video was that on? That was on a video. Oh, it must have been a video of the Savage. It's got the same shell on as it's got on now, so it must have been a relatively recent video that I did of the Savage. Yeah, well done. Send it. That is 100% correct. You see a lot of people, they start up an engine, and when it eventually gets started, they rev it up straight away. They're like, oh yeah, it's definitely running, and they're revving it up. It's very bad, and I've done a few videos on why it's bad and why you shouldn't do it. Perhaps I should do another one, who knows. Let's have a look. The next comment down, that was only an hour ago as well. Well done, Mr. Send It. 5 hours ago. Peter Pendice, don't know. What else we got here? Just below from the actual exhaust. Worked for me and did the same thing without taking lines off. I find now trying to prime it using the pull start can damage components and put strain on the pull start itself. It doesn't matter which way as long as it works for you and your RC. Awesome video, mate. That's very true, Peter. I'm sorry, I can't quite understand how pulling on the pull start just to prime it would do any damage to it or put any more strain on it than it would do if you was just ordinarily trying to start the engine. Perhaps it does, perhaps it doesn't, but that's not necessarily something that I'm bothered about, because well, that's what the pull start's there for. It's there to pull on to turn the engine over. You're pulling on it to turn the engine over to prime the engine, although I don't use that method often. I don't particularly like that method. I prefer to take off the little pipe and blow through it. Simple as that. You can blow through the exhaust, of course you can. It does exactly the same thing as you would do if you blow through the pipe, except if you blow through the exhaust, you're blowing more through the engine than you would be through the tank. If you blow through the pipe, you go straight into the tank, which then pressurizes the tank and pushes the fuel into the carburetor. If you blow through the exhaust pipe itself, you're blowing through the exhaust port on the engine. It's not going to do the same thing. Although some of it, if the port is closed, it will then pressurize the tank, but whatever you want to do, it's entirely up to you. I always prefer just to blow down that line, and probably that's what I always do, but I'm a bit willy-nilly. Sometimes I change it up a bit and do different methods. Okay, next comment down. Brad's Bangers. Okay, Brad's Bangers. Comment not found. Okay, fair enough. Brad's Bangers again. I bet he won't mention me. Who won't mention you, Brad? Brad's Bangers RC. I bet he won't mention me. Who won't mention you? I can't find your other comment, so I can't, it's not found, Brad. Either you removed it, or something's gone wrong, but I don't know the reason why your engine died. See, I can't read the rest of the comment, Brad, so whoever you're trying to get to mention you, I don't know who it is or what's going on there, but I can't read it, I'm afraid. Next one down, 9 hours ago. I agree with some of what you say. However, I got the 1.4 Taycan Valia MT, and it's 2 to 3S brushless, and it's fast, durable, and probably one of my favourite cars in my collection. I have other brand names like the Losi Mini 8T and Associated Reflex 14B and Traxxas Revo Mini 1/16 VXL. And honestly, the how the hell do you say that? Is it Taycan? Don't know. Taycan Valia MT is my favourite of all of those, and it's Chinese brand. Also, technically, almost every car and part on the car are made in China. That's correct. That must be on a video I did about Chinese or something like that. Yeah, I think that's the one where I said the Chinese cars overtaking the world. Yeah, it's very true. I mean, nearly every single part that you get, even if you get a car, if you was to find a car that was made in England or made in a different country, the parts for it are most definitely going to be made in China and sourced from China to bring to England to put the car together. It's just the way things are. It's unfortunate that everything's made in China these days. And I think I did say that sometimes things from China are pretty good, like the camera that I'm filming on now. This Sony camera is an excellent camera, fantastic build quality, fantastic camera all around, probably made in China, although it is Sony, so it may have been made in Japan, I'm not entirely sure, but most likely made in China. iPhones themselves are made in China, and it's an arguable topic, but they're an excellent quality phone. So some things that do come out of China are good, but when it comes to RC cars, if you get the Chinese ones, they're going to be shit compared to, you know, but you'll always get some good ones. I'm not going to sit there and talk about it for years, although I could do, because everybody has their own opinions. That's just my opinion. Let's see what else we've got. One day ago, Paul McLaren. This has got an easy name to pronounce. Sometimes the idle screw plays part in it. It did with me. Plays part in what, Paul? I don't know. Was that? That video might have been on tuning. That might have been a video on tuning an RC car. Well, the idle screw, it can't physically have a part in the tune. If you understand how an idle screw works, it has no actual part in the tuning of the carburetor whatsoever. All an idle screw does is, I'll have to show you, I'll have to take a carburetor apart and I'll have to show you exactly what it does. It'll make things a lot easier. But what the tick over screw does, or idle screw as you call it there, Paul, is it literally just, it physically pushes the gap of the carb apart. It doesn't adjust any fuel mixing or anything of a kind like that. It literally just pushes the gap of the throttle apart, and obviously the more you turn it in, the more it's going to push it apart, because it's got a tapered end on it, like a little point on the end of the screw. So the more you push it in, the further it pushes the gap apart, which obviously raises the tick over. The more you turn it anti-clockwise and pull the screw outwards, the spring on the carburetor is going to push the throttle closed as the screw's going out, see, and lowering the tick over. So it might seem like the tick over screw does have a part in the tune. It doesn't. It's as simple as that, I'm afraid. So there's no way around it. That's the way it goes. Okay, I'm not gonna read all. Look, quite a lot here for some reason. One day ago, TRX 250R Puma looks like a cylinder head off a go-kart. It does. I like that. He's on about the one on that buggy there. That one there. It does look. I love them style. Looks like an old proper real size go-kart. Another good keen hobby of mine. Whatever that says. I kill you cake here. What we got here? Not big fan of Traxxas, but my Jato and Revo doing good. No, I don't really like Traxxas either. TRX person again. Enjoyed your video, mate. Just wondering, what kind is the stadium truck on the shelf? Stadium truck on the shelf. Do I have a stadium truck on a shelf? Do you mean this one here? That's a Mini T, a Losi Mini T. Got that when I was approximately. When did I get that? God, I was young. I was very young. Spent my pocket money on it. From a shop called JD Models. I must have been approximately 12 years old, I would imagine, when I bought that. I'm 30 now. So, yeah, it doesn't work anymore. It broke and I can't get any parts for it. So, yeah. Losi Mini T. I think they do a modern version of it, but yeah, I haven't got it. Too expensive. Here we go. One day ago, they're a sub-C cell, like what you make RC sticker packs. Nice. What we got? J Pierce. Nice to see the old ones get revived. Yeah, what am I doing? Oh, is that one there you're talking about? Yeah, I know, mate, I know. Very nice indeed. What we got here? Can't afford a phone yet gets a brand new iPhone 12. Why unget a Apple for wood of get Samsung S20? It's way better and cheaper. Yeah, Bradley, mate, possibly. Yeah. The iPhone 12, that's brilliant. I can't wait for that to arrive. I'm an Apple fan. You know, Apple. I do like Apple. I would like to try a Samsung, or I'd like the LG Wing. I think you can only get that in America at the moment, the LG Wing. I would like an LG Wing to try that out. My brother wants one as well. He was like, look at the LG Wing. I was like, I looked at it. It's like a phone, but it flips into like a T shape. Those of you in Canada and America, you've got it now. It's about $1,000. So it's about 850 quid, 800 quid in pounds. But it's not in this country yet, so I couldn't even go anywhere near that. But the thing is, because we're all Apple, wife's Apple, we've got everything's Apple, you see. So we can AirDrop and we can do all these kind of things and iMessage and all that. So we want to try and keep everything Apple. So if I was to spend some money on a different phone, I'd be out of the loop, and if I didn't like it, I'd be stuck with it, wouldn't I? For the 3 years contract of it, because I can't afford to just buy it outright. It's fucking expensive. Who's got that amount of money just to buy a phone outright? Nobody. So I'd be stuck with a 3 years contract, 36 months, with a phone that I don't like. So I just tend to stick with what I like, and it's Apple. And the iPhone 12 Pro is meant to be the bollocks. It's got you know, the new Bionic chip in it, and bloody the Pro's got 6 GB of RAM, and whereas just the 12 has just got 3 gig, or was it 4 gig, I think. So yeah, that will be coming soon. Can't wait for that. Very exciting. Jenna Bailey. There's not the best way of running it in an engine. Look at his. There is not best way of running an engine. Look at his other Nitro cars, all running sweet and never off tune. So many different ways to run in a engine. This is the way I have run in my Nitros for over 25 years without a problem. That's the tractor's braking. That's not the best way of doing it. Ah, someone else commented. Right, okay. Tractors, what's that? I like to wind people out if their comments don't make any sense. Cheers, Jenna, for commenting on that. Great video, mate. Love your no-nonsense approach. I said thank you, and Jenna said this is what I love about his content. No bull. Cheers, Jenna. Well, there's no need for any of the rubbish, is there? Hi, buddy. Not commented for a while. It's nice to I think it's going to be actually video of someone actually running in a Nitro the right way. Yeah. Piss off. I only want to. That's it. There you go. Yeah. Cody Johnson loves this video. Nice. Anyway, that's going to be it for now, you lot. I know the video was split up. I had a lot of trouble getting that app to work on that phone. That wouldn't work for ages. As you can see, I finally got it doing now. Today's the 3rd of January. Fantastic last day of isolation for me today, which is great. So if I wanted to, I could go out today, but I don't think I will be going out anywhere. There's no need to go out anywhere, is there? Just stay indoors, chill out, relax. I think I'll make some RC videos, and I'll catch you whenever I catch you. Don't know when that'll be, in a little while. All the best. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for being here. Thanks for subscribing if you are subscribed. Maybe we'll reach a nice, bit more subscribers this year. 2021 is going to be the tits. You wait. And as soon as I can get to active scale, I will do to get these bits and bobs. I weren't able to go out and about because of this disease that I've had for the past couple of weeks over Christmas. So obviously, even if they were open, I wouldn't have been able to go out and get anything anyway because I've had to stay and isolate. See? So yeah, as soon as I can get down there, probably in the next couple of weekends, I will do, and we'll get some bits and bobs. Nice one. Catch you later, you lot. All the best.